Thanks for joining us today. My name is Jay McGowan, Director of Financial Planning here at Five Plan Partners. Also today, I have Jason Hatley with me, who's a valuable member of the planning team. Today we wanted to discuss the real estate market. As the spring and summer months are heating up weather-wise, likely you have noticed that the real estate market is heating up as well. Whether that be because of the relation to the school year, or it's just the time of year, people are out and about more, wanting to get out, and it's time to kind of start looking for housing. Things typically heat up this time of year. What we see from a financial planning perspective is that typically the purchase or sale of a house is the largest transaction that most Americans will ever deal with. And so what you want to do is make sure that when you buy or sell a house, you have all your I's dotted and T's crossed to make sure that it fits into your overall financial plan. There's a lot of cost associated with buying a house. So not only getting into the house with realtor fees and moving costs, things like that, but also ongoing costs such as mortgage principal and interest, real estate taxes, insurance, maintenance, things of that nature. If you're moving into a larger house, there can be considerably higher bills, utilities associated with that. So making sure that the move fits into your overall financial plan and doesn't prevent you from reaching your other goals is paramount when making this decision. A lot of times when people are selling houses, we are asked, I've had my house for a while, I think I'm gonna make some money on it. Am I going to have to pay taxes on this? And so, Jason, tell us a little bit about the tax consequences of selling a house when you've owned it for a while.
Yeah, and what you mentioned is a natural concern. I mean, anytime you sell something and expect to make a gain on it, you think you might have to pay taxes on it. Truth of the matter is that as long as you have lived in the house, that house has been your primary residence for at least 2 of the last 5 years, you get an exclusion on that gain that you realize on the sale. And for married filing joint returns, that gain is up to $500,000. For single filers, it's $250,000.
Yeah, and one thing to mention on that while we're talking about it is how do you determine that capital gain? Typically what it is the price you sold the house for less your tax basis. And what that is basically the price that you paid for the house, any deductible sales expenses, and then also you can add in any capital improvements that you have made to that house over the years.
Which can be significant.
Very significant. And so you want to make sure, that's another thing, is, we tell people when you're doing these projects, even though you don't plan to sell your house for several years, keep good record of how much you spent. So and when you do sell it, you can have documentation of that. One other question that we get often is the question, with the housing market being as hot as it is, a lot of you have probably seen, if you're in the market, houses will go on the market and then be under contract in a couple days. And so a lot of times people ask us, hey, can we get money out of our house that we currently own in order to buy the next house before we have sold our current house that we're living in? And the answer is yes. If you have equity in your property, you can go to work with your banker to get either a home equity line of credit or what's called a bridge loan to pull money out of your existing house before you sell it in order to put down on the new house or buy it outright. There can be some risks associated with this. There's definitely costs and interest that you have to pay on these loans, but they're good options if that's something that you need to do in this hot real estate market. So those are some high-level topics and overview of things that you need to consider as the housing market's heating up this time of year. If you have any more questions on this or any other topics, please just let us know. Feel free to reach out at any time. Thanks again for joining us today, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.